And good evening.
Good evening, Mikey Mike, known as 40 Mike. Mike, we are resilient. We are war.
Yes, we are looking good and we are coming in live. No stuttering steps, no skipping beats, no me jumping from frame to frame. And now I lost the sound. One second. Test. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yep. All right, I got you now. I don't know what it was. It was just I lost you for a second.
No problem.
How was your week?
Oh, busy but good, getting it done, trying to look good doing it. It's all good.
Absolutely. As I mentioned earlier in the week, I was unable to make it to the Pliny event found, so I'm going to be putting together a little basket of sorts. It's going to be an ammo can.
Oh, awesome.
It's going to have a lot of things in it. It's going to have a nice Hellfish Agent jersey,
Yeah.
and then it's also going to have a retro handheld emulator
Yes.
that can play everything from uh, Atari through PlayStation 1.
Savage.
And it's already preloaded with, I think, 12,000 games.
Oh, just 12,000.
Yep. So it's already got the SD card and everything, so it'll come to you ready to go. I'll get that up this weekend and figure out a way that we can get that raffled off to raise some funds for Mindy's mission in name of Matthew Pelini.
Okay. Cool.
And then we got September coming up, which is Suicide Awareness Month.
Yeah.
And I've got a clip here for 988 I want to throw on real quick. Just a little reminder to call, 988 if you guys need help. Also, Mass Behavioral Health Line is out there too. The biggest thing, though, I find is, if you can stay connected with friends that you started with, it's easiest to talk to somebody who's been through a similar situation.
Yep. 100%.
And that's always, the best that I've seen. And then, which is everything, crazy going on in the world, people are just losing their minds over everything. So it's, it's just important to stay, control what we can.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And it's like today I got to make little ZD necklace. We took some ZD, painted it with like the little washable paint.
Yep.
And then put it on a piece of yarn. And she was just so excited to have like a rainbow necklace.
It's things like that, low tech analog things that involve your hands and experience and touching that, stick longer than other things.
And I feel so bad when she'll wake up in the morning and sometimes she'll be like, "Can I watch the Switch?" And it's like that's the first thing you're thinking of in the morning when you wake up. It's like I'm doing something wrong, and so it's just like I try to like come up with something to do each day, like that we can do without like a screen,
Yeah, yeah.
because just so much like, and I understand like I don't want her to be behind either. Like I want her to be able to to grow up with it. Like we did too. Like with typing classes, and then went right into was it Windows 95 probably,
Yeah, yeah.
and then from there with the dial up and everything, and then just technology. Just like I said the other day when I was talking with you, it just for me it flew by me at some point.
Well, I mean, things are changing so fast, and what is the standard today is obsolete tomorrow. It's hard, and so I don't beat myself up over it anymore, and just try to understand that everything changes all the time. I think it's just the speed. I mean, think how long we were drawing horse and buggy. Think how long um, how fast air travel. I mean, think about it. 100 years ago, we were just starting to get the flying thing down. You know,
What was it like a 20-year span between the first airplane and then going to the moon?
well, I don't know about no. Well, I mean, we got airplanes in the early 1900s, and by 19 you know
60
60
something.
60ish, we were putting men on the moon.
Hmm.
I mean, they're talking about all the time. Your car now has more electronics than what was in the first space, ships, the moon landers. It's crazy to think about it that way.
What I don't like about all the electronics and the stuff though is the fact that these companies can like brick your stuff. Like if you don't pay a subscription, if you don't agree to the terms of service, they can turn your product just into a paperweight.
Yeah, that's why I'm not getting the new Switch, man. I'm kind of done with Nintendo. I mean, I'm reading some of the fine print about what governs that console, and you don't really own your games. You don't really
Nope.
have control of your console, and you almost have to have it checked in on the internet in order to keep playing it. And I'm like, no, it's just a little too invasive for me.
Absolutely, and especially like with the retro emulators, like you literally can get a Steam Deck that can do the same thing that the Switch 2 can do, or you can get Amberneck comes out with a new one every other month, and like those can do up to Xbox 360, and some of them can emulate Switch games, but the legal standing is a little wonky.
Well, I don't know, man. I am like, man, if I gotta get myself one toy in 2026, I'm looking at that new Xbox handheld. I'm like, I could see myself in the airport or on the train, jamming to some Halo or something else on a nice system.
I just got real excited because they just released Gears of War on PlayStation 5.
Well, so for me, I bought the first Gears of War when it came out, and I got a message
Mhm.
from Xbox saying, "Hey, thank you for your longtime loyal, fan of being a Gears fan, Xbox Live fan. We're giving you the Reloaded for free." And sure enough, on August 26th, 11 o'clock, I was in the morning. I was able to download it for free, and it looks amazing.
Absolutely, and it's just like I'm just remembering like buying it and then playing it for just hours on end, like shutting all the lights off in the house and being like somebody would turn on the lights and we'd all be like cockroaches, be like no, shut it off.
No, it was a good game with a good story and kind of like a lot of like I don't know about you, man, but some of the scenes, some of the interactions were I felt like I was back in with my battery. Same kind of thing. You got the screwball, the kind of like parent dude, the all arounder, and then
Mhm.
the funny guy. And I really liked some of the characters in there, and I got attached to them.
They did too, and like it had a good story that compelled you to to want to keep playing. Like there's so many games nowadays where it's like the story is just not there, or like you go into like to play and like there's a little tutorial that shows you like a couple of moves or generic moves, but it doesn't really teach you how to play the game. And then you go online and you got these 7 to 11 year olds just whooping your ass,
Yeah, yeah.
and you lose the emphasis to want to play when you're just getting schooled every time you go online to play.
Yeah, someone asked me, "Hey, are you getting the new COD coming out?" I said, "No, man. I'm playing COD 6 on Game Pass right now, and when that goes away, I'll be done with it. I'm looking forward to Battlefield 4. I really am.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of the cheaters and then the cheating, Mike. I didn't realize that's its own industry, man. And I'm like, how what is your life like that your biggest thrill in your life during the week or at the weekend is cheating on a video game? Really?
Well, have you seen the whole industry on like the loot boxes?
Yes.
Like they're their own casinos for like underage kids. Like
It's
CoffeeZilla did like a great like set on it.
it's crazy. Like, get out of here, man. And so I'm just not into it. I'm not going to spend money on a. And the thing is, they're not going after these cheaters. I think some of these people are selling the source code for the game, and they're making the hardware. You can see on TikTok or even YouTube, Instagram, where they have your controller hooked up to your TV, and your weapon is locked onto whatever target's out there. You don't even have to
Mm,
aim.
that's
And
wild.
when you're playing, you can now tell who's cheating and who's not. I'm like, there's
Hmm.
no way that guy knew where I was and put his shot exactly where I was in one. There's just no way.
And especially when they find the spawn spot before you even like you're fully
Yes.
there. Like that, like it just drive me nuts. Like I would go online at like 12 or 1 in the morning, and I just start friendly firing everybody. Like I just go on. I'd be like, I just nuke my own team because I just get so angry at everybody.
Well, I mean, you spend good money on this game. You spend time on it. You're
Hmm.
going through the thing, and God forbid you say a curse word or you know talk like you were in the Marine Corps. You're gonna get banned. And then you realize that, hey, the game is so amped up on certain things, but if you want to cheat, it's wide open.
Hmm.
And it's like, well, what am I doing this for? And I'm surprised no one said, you know what? I'm going to sue Activision because I'm tired of spending this money. They haven't done anything to combat the cheaters. They can't do anything about it. It's just no fun anymore, which is why I think like the games like the old Halo and GoldenEye and some of those old ones were really amazing.
It was, and like, oh, GoldenEye is still like such a good one to like go back and revisit. Like, and like that's the thing I like about like playing like the retro games on like the emulators is like going back and doing that. But like these companies don't even make it possible for you to legally go back and play some of these games. Like Nintendo doesn't have a backup of their old systems, a way to go. I mean, like when they shut down like the DS and they shut down like Wii U and everything like that, like those systems just became, you know, whatever you had on the device, that was it. You couldn't do anything else. And it's like you have to seek out the emulation and know the piracy to be able to play these games anymore. And so it's like I don't understand how these companies getting angry about it if they don't offer an option to how to do it.
Well, that's why I'm thinking about trying to find. I mean, there are people out there rebuilding Xbox 360s and even the original Xbox or PS2s and PS3s because they want to be able to take their disc that they paid for and play
Hmm.
these games when they want to play them. And I can't blame them. I can't blame them. I'm like, okay, so you don't actually own the game. If you buy the disc, all the disc is the key to allow you to download whatever on the server. So
Yeah, that always threw me off. As soon as you like, if you bought it like at the midnight like release, and then you go home and you plug it in, and as soon as you plug it in, it's like updating. It's like the game hasn't even been out for like 6
right.
hours. It's like what is it updating for?
So I mean, I don't know. I was talking to somebody like, hey, why do you play video games? I'm like, well, you know, um, I get on with some of my bros and play and we connect and just blow off some steam. We're not drinking, we're not out drugging, we're not out, whoring around, we're not out
Hmm.
gambling. I'm in my living room, with my, polar seltzer and some snacks. And I'm just, hey man, how's it going? Or we don't even talk sometimes. We just play the game and kind of grunt at each other when we're in the lobby. And that's okay. I think there's a place for it because you're not really alone. And, I'd rather talk to somebody if they feel comfortable over the video game chat than have to worry if they're out drinking or drugging or getting a DUI or, doing something else that's crazy and stupid, right?
Absolutely, and like that's why these Discord servers are so good, and like you see the VFW is finally stepping up onto it, the Legion's finally stepping up and like creating like servers and like, but they're just real basic and they don't. There's no like follow through with it yet, so it's like I've been chirping at the people like that are running them and saying, hey, this is a start. Don't just stop. Continue building on it. Make it so that local posts can like have game rooms. Make it so they can do the outreaches. You don't want to get people in and then have no place for them to turn.
You don't. You don't. I just think that it's there. I try to tell some guys in the Legion, hey, you could. It's almost nothing to get some, used systems. Have guys bring in their systems and come out and have a Madden tournament. You
Yep.
know, it's almost no money if you think about it. And I'm not sure. And what if they make noise or whatever? I'm like, well, then you're going to have no noise at all in about 10 years if you're not careful.
Yeah. When you're closing down the buildings, like it still chaps my ass at the post that I was the commander of, post 93 in Foxborough. Instead of moving the bar upstairs where they had functioning toilets, all we had downstairs was a urinal. And, that's not inviting to female patrons. That's not inviting to, elderly patrons that, that have, consistent problems and, have to go, up and down the stairs and, they would stop coming because they were like, I can't get upstairs to the bathroom. And it's like, so why don't we move the bar upstairs and then when there's a function, we'll just be downstairs. And they're like, no, 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 let's just sell the place. And it was like, they sold the place and it's like, where did all that money go to? And all of a sudden, the guy that was embezzling funds from Legion Baseball all of a sudden became the commander again. It's like, this is shady.
It does get shady, man, and it really, it's just seen it time and time again where the finance guy leaves, drops dead, or gets divorced, whatever, and the new guy comes in, and they got to bring in a financial guy because it's like, oh my god, I mean, they thought
Mm-hmm.
they had thousands and thousands of dollars in the bank because they never spent it, and yeah, they were funding his vacations and new truck and guns and stuff, and it's like crazy.
But did you see on Good News that Coleman Nee is the head of the GAV?
I did see that. I did see that. That's well earned, well deserved. He has a lot of experience. He's been in the trenches. He's paid his dues.
Hmm. So I applied to be on the Save team
Yeah.
years ago when I first came back from my first tour. And he looked at me during the interview and he said, "You have a passion to help vets." He's like, "Do not take this job."
Oh
He's
wow.
like, I'm not gonna hire you. He's like, I don't want, I want you to continue to go out there, work with vets, and to have that passion. He's like, this job can suck that out of you. He's like, we deal with a lot of vets that are in bad places, and in turn, it can rub you the wrong way on helping veterans.
Yeah.
And so he did. He stopped me from taking a position. You don't think that would be something that would be helpful to you, but it really was to me. Letting me know that there's other routes to go out there and to follow those.
Well, I mean, he was real with you, and you got to appreciate that. I mean, so many times people are like, hey, it, it's all roses and attaboys and hoorahs and hooyahs, and it's not,
Yeah,
man.
they're
There's
just looking for a warm body to put in there.
right, right, and you're right. There's some of our brethren and sisters who have like for real problems, man. I mean, leftover trauma from childhood,
Mhm.
leftover trauma from marriage and divorce, injury.
In and out of penitentiary. It's like substance abuse. I mean, it can really build up.
It runs the gamut, man. Runs the gamut, and it can be, hard to deal with. So, I'm hoping for, I'm hopeful with that because I'm like, wow, he has a proven track record of leadership
Yep.
on all levels of veterans advocacy. It's not like he just got this as a attaboy job.
No, he
He,
was. He
he
wasn't a political appointee, and then followed that politician up.
no, I mean he did work for the state of Massachusetts, but before that he was involved. After he got out
Mhm.
of the Commonwealth, he was secretary for the Commonwealth. He was involved in veterans advocacy. This is a good hire. This is a good pickup.
Hmm.
We
And
need that.
then with the VFW, we're going to be doing our coffee and camaraderie event again this month, September 27th. Just doing an overlay quick up there. VFW Post 443 over in North Attleboro. Be on
Nice,
the 27th,
nice.
and
Oh
then
man, you sound and look great. Like I know some nights were frustrating because you just couldn't get it rolling right, but you got this dialed in, and you just look and sound amazing. It's nice.
it feels so much easier. Like when I'm not stressing out, like for
I
like the
know.
hour leading up to like getting on, like being like restart, 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 restart. So if anybody out there is trying to stream and going out there and not having success, you know don't be hesitant to turn in your computer and invest in something. Put a couple bucks aside each month, and then get something a little newer and be able to actually engage. And like this is where I want to be able to reach people. So I can't do it if I'm not present.
Well, I mean, you're present now. You're present tonight. I've got to go be president of Oscar Mike Radio here in a couple minutes, but
What have you got on tonight?
I have on Eric Hummel, a Navy submariner, and went into the Air Force as an officer and got out as lieutenant colonel. He wrote a book about why we lost in Afghanistan, and for the first time, he reminds me of Stuart Scheller in some regards, where he's like, hey, the flag officer and senior brass leadership really set us up to fail, and we've got to own it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dang, I mean, you just don't, I don't care who you are, you just don't hear that. And so he goes into the aspects of his book and how he felt about that. And some people would say that he is just bitter or hateful, but I'm like, no, I mean, he comes at it from a place of authenticity, I believe. He wrote a book about it. He got very granular in the book about what went on and why.
What
And
really
then
bugged me was all the fact that we have so many like 4-star billets now versus like what we had in like World War II. Like there's more 4 stars now running around than there were then.
right, right, and I've asked several people. I'm like, there's no way we should have lost Afghanistan if we had been really committed.
Mm-hmm.
And he explained to me, there's a lot of money that could be made if you lose a war. And they're right. I mean, we've had to replace all that equipment that was left over there. Other
Yep.
things going on. It's
All
and
the
he
all the rebuilding missions, all the contractors, all the building a base, turning the base over, building a base, turning the base over. Everything's transactional.
so I just it's an interesting perspective. He's very articulate, and I think it'll be a conversation for people to learn from.
And they can catch that Facebook.
Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, everywhere else in about
Excellent.
3 minutes.
All right, I'm gonna throw up a little overlay and say goodnight to the folks. Thank you guys for joining us. We are W.A.R. We are resilient, and we'll be back next week.